8 years, and finally I had something break on the plow. I was plowing a lot, and all of a sudden I hit the control. I just pushed some, hit the control to lift it up, and all I heard was, you know the sound. And then the wings wouldn't move, but the motor's running, so I knew it's not the typical electrical connection, you know, here to the truck and ground and all that. I knew that the motor was running. Anyway, we had to use the emergency winch strap, which I'll show that in a little bit once this is folded back up here to show you. But what we discovered, once we got this cover off on this, every time we'd hit the motor or hit the power, this is loose. So whether it's a shaft coupling, whatever, during the storm, this was just one of those like, oh man, I still had plowing to do, and I was going to get myself into having to try to sit here and fix this, take it apart and do all that, and still order parts and wait for them to arrive. There's still work to do. So I went to my backup plow. That's why you'll see a lot of the tractor being used with the big steel plow that I bought as a backup just in case something breaks on the plow. So I just went right into plan B mode, went and got the contracts done, got the work done, and now I'm going to take this on. I've already ordered a complete new unit. Not even knowing exactly what it is that's wrong. Got lint or something on there. But not even knowing exactly what's wrong with it. One was supposed to be shipped. I ordered it 2 days ago. It's supposed to be here in 3 to 5 days. $870 with shipping. So the plan is, as soon as it gets in, slap the new one on. Then this is in service as fast as possible. And in the meantime, I'll be looking at this to see what I do need to repair it. Whether it's a new electric motor, shaft coupling, whatever it is. I'll work on repairing it and put it on the shelf as a spare. All right, I'm gonna have to get this pin back out of here and get this moved back out. It's pretty easy. Another little step, once you disconnect this hydraulic cylinder, you're still gonna feel the spring tension inside here, not from those springs, but once you pull this back, you'll watch that block move. But if I let go, it's going to close up, and I need that space. So what I'm going to do again here is put that back, pull it up. We'll see if I can do this with one hand and hold the phone. Stand by. No, I couldn't do it with one hand. But it's in place. I think I may get another thing just as a backup there. But what that's going to do is get me a little bit of the working room to get in and get this disconnected. All right, I took a moment before I do anything. It's not super complicated, but I'm just lessons learned from past any project, is I've taken several photos from different angles, straight up and down here, a little bit closer in, just to make sure if I have any questions along the way, I'll reassemble it. But I'm going to start by getting off the hot and the ground connection. Once we disconnect these hydraulic lines to main in and out from the hydraulic pump, then we just have the mounting bolts for this part. This I don't have to touch right now, which is good. And I'll have to see if I can pivot it out, or if I'm just going to have to take the 90-degree fill tube check out there, or if I can rotate that in a way. Probably not. All right, let me get some of this disconnected. All right, I went ahead and took out the sight glass, or not sight glass, but the sight window here. And it looks like all we have to mount this is 2 bolts here that are in the actual hydraulic pump. And then there are 2 underneath. Can't really focus on them, but it looks like I got 4 to take out. I'll let you know if that's true, but we don't have to touch anything here. This is all part of that system. You can see I made a little bit of a mess. If you want to drain this before you take out the pump, probably a good idea, but I don't like the room that's over here to be able to get into it. to get a pan there or anything to do. You can. But I was just going to carry it out, keep it level, take it to the container over there. And of course I tilted it and just dumped a bunch out, but got the safety absorbent down. It's taking the pump on home and to look at it and wait for the new one to arrive. And then before I left, the guy said, hey, there's a package for you. It's already came. I just ordered this like Saturday night late or Sunday morning. I can't remember exactly, but it's Wednesday. I think I've lost track of the days. They were fast. This is Mill Supply out of Cleveland, Ohio. I'll put some links to it up there. Besides actually getting on it and getting it shipped and having it in stock versus some other websites, even on eBay, I saw this same exact pump model for like $2,500 and $1,500 and all this. This was $833, I think, and they really got on it. Proud of that. I'll put a link in that, but I'm going to unbox it. She's already opened on the top. That's good. Yeah. All right. All right, I'm just going to get all of them started. So if we need to wiggle around for the bottom a little bit, we've got some room before tightening everything down. All right, the mounting bolts are in. Just got to get the plugs out. I think we'll go ahead and do these first, and then I'll figure out exactly. Yeah, I guess I'll keep that in the middle. That's the way it was before. And I may look at some wire ties just to keep a lot of stuff that's kind of loose. Figure out a way where this is not going to be rubbing somewhere, but I could get to it to check it and keep some abrasing, vibrations down inside of here. We'll look at that as a after effect. Let me get the hoses hooked up. All right, hoses are on. Just in case anybody hadn't known, this is the swivel part. So you're going to hang on to this on the hydraulic hose, turn this, tighten it down. The ground, one thing I noticed is making sure this connection here, it's kind of a small wire under it, but this actually looks good and clean on both wires. And I rotated it up a little bit to keep it, it was straight out. It was wanting to go down and kind of rub on the front. Then when I started to put the hot on, it looks like it needs clean just a little bit. I'm trying to find some sandpaper or something just to brush it. If not, I'll get this at the house. Everything else is hooked up. Now I'm just gonna stick this stuff in there. Yep, I got this O'Reilly's. I looked online real quick. I figured, man, I'll order some Boss and it'll get here before the pump gets here. But I looked at some of the prices of it. I was like, that's just ridiculous. I've changed the fluid a couple years ago and it was nowhere near the price I was finding online. So this was $8, $9, $10. I can't remember. Was definitely looking for the -50 freeze up. I've seen a comment on a review that this froze up on them, but I don't know. I've seen others that says it's just fine. They've used it for years. Others use automatic transmission fluid, but right now I'm going to do this. We'll see how it works. But I need 2 quarts of it, and I'm hoping that funnel will fit in there good enough. Well, thank goodness. Sometimes you get too excited when things are actually working out real well, and I almost forgot. I gotta take this out and put the 90-degree angle back in for the sight. And so I just got 1 quart in, so we should be okay, but I was getting ready to have to drain it and be able to assemble that. So let me get that in first. So almost got 2 quarts in before it started coming out the flow here, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to bump the motor a couple times to get a little more into the pump. Some more of that. So I'm hanging on to this for a minute. I'm gonna put the cap back on it and get the truck in here, hook it up, and let's see if it works. Actually, I'm gonna have to get this pinned back in place as well. But I think we're gonna have to add a little bit more once we turn the pump a couple times. Sweet. You got it. That's good. All right, it survived the trip home. Everything exercised it several times, and as I was expecting, we need to add some more fluid. Just needed to fill up some parts. So I'll top all that off and get the old pump over there. I'm going to save the box because whenever I fix whatever needs to be done with that, it may even be super simple. Who knows? But I'm going to store it in that box on a shelf and keep it for the backup repair. Clean the wires and a couple of those little things, get the cover back on. But I think here in a few, we'll just go ahead and start disassembling that and see what's going on with it. All right, I've had to just push some junk out of the way. Basketballs, radio things, chainsaw stuff. Junk everywhere, but nice little place to work on some things. But here's my best hope that I know that this is loose. If I hold this still, you can see this movement. It is loose. Maybe a combination of something that's happened with the coupling. I'm sure that I wouldn't doubt by the time frame, a couple years, that the filter screen is clogged up in here a little bit. Maybe there was some slush. Maybe it was that, plus some movement. Let's hope maybe it's just a simple repair, nothing major. So we'll start by getting these off here. Oh, I should have brought my battery-powered ratchet over here. In fact, let's do that, because this may be threaded in a couple inches. Well, not much more. Ooh. Oh, it's a sleeve. I was wondering what was going on there. Little protector sleeve. Well, I was right at the end of it anyway. Interesting. I don't see any marring on that. And I don't see any marring in here. Like, really, it looks like the coupling is good. I'm going to get something to just wipe that out, take a close look, and see if it's been burred. No, I really don't. It is very possible. I mean, if you look at this, this is not very deep of a groove. And it's possible that was loose enough to be out farther. Let me see if I can turn this sideways. I think it was loose enough that it has just come away from it a little bit and it just can't get the drive. Okay, actually I just shined a light a different direction and I can barely see, I don't know if you can see it in the video, right there. Looks like a little bit of a scuff. I'm calling it that. I don't know what to call it. But I think that's what happened. So I think we're probably going to be good on this side. We know that the motor was turning because the whirring sound was there. We heard it moving, and we watched the motor go, torque whenever it took off, which if it's moving with torque, it means it's not connected very good. And it's allowing that force to be able to rotate with the start. So I think I'm going to put this back on this side for now. All right, I discovered trying to fit this back into that keyway where it needs to go in the slot, so it's going to catch it and turn. It was easier. I got me a roll of duct tape. You've got that outfitting for the sight tube. For filling to checking your fluid, and it's just hard to set it anyway. So I set it down there. That takes that up. Some more fluid come out, and I tell you, actually it still looks pretty good. The stuff that come out of the pump, I haven't really seen any milky yet. Even other drips that have come out. But anyway, so that did help get it lined up where you can see if this part in the impeller or in the pump is which way that keyway is lined, and then which way the receiver is going to be lined from the motor. And then I'm going to have to find the holes, which I know about where they'll be. Let's see if we can get one started. All right, there was a little bit of trouble getting the bolt lined up to the hole. First one I got started, the second one I just kept fidgeting with, and Couldn't quite get it. There's such a long bolt. Getting off a little bit at an angle is hard to tell. So what would help in the little slot that's here is a screwdriver that you can put in there, prop it back up just a little bit, one of the other ones hanging onto it so it doesn't pop up too far. But then I could see the threads and work it, get it started, and then start working it. I'm going to recommend you do each one a few turns as you start to snug it down to get it balanced in there and make sure you're set right. So that's good. All right, now it's time to get this baby off the reservoir. I have a suspicion. So if we know anything about hydrocarbons, I mean diesel, hydraulic fluid, really a lot of these different fluids like this, water will go to the bottom, meaning that water is heavier than a lot of these oils, or a lot of these hydrocarbons, all different stuff like that are lighter than, so they're going to be up here. I wonder if there's some just gunk, goo, and that's down at the pickup. We may find some very milky stuff at the very bottom. I did just have a drop come out that looked icky. So I'll bet you down here there's a little bit of stuff. But let's get this off and see what we got. All right, had to get a little wobble head with this ratchet head. It can't get really against that good, so yeah, that'll work. Well, I think I missed a little bit of recording, but well, we do have milky stuff in the bottom. What do you know? So this has come within the last couple of years. It was about 2 years ago when I changed it. So, and it was the Boss fluid and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure why. The other time I went for 5 years, which I shouldn't have. I just learned more about maintenance over the years. But yeah, a couple of years, and this has way more moisture content in it than before. But I just even got a piece of goo out of there that was kind of nasty. But let me get this turned around so you can see the filter pickups. This is what you do not want. Man, that thing is really, it was nowhere like this before. I mean, it is just straight up goo on that screen. So we're going to have to, this is the intake here. We're going to have to get these off and get those cleaned up. Let's look at this one here. Yeah, this one's actually pretty good. Looks like return. I got to check and see what make sure I'm saying is right there. Is this the return? But, so yeah, we definitely would have had some flow issue because of this filter screen, which people should comment and go like, yeah, no kidding. But also, we should have had some other action, like the instantaneous happened. It was just that this happened to be loose too. A couple things, but I think it's going to be some simple cleaning, and I'm going to be able to have this baby on the shelf as a spare in case something happens. We can do just like we did this time and just get a new one on the way, go to the Plan B plow, and worry about it after the storm's done. Get everybody taken care of. So, all right, let me get this cleaned off. All right, so even after cleaning this off, all the goo, I mean, it feels good and rough now, and, you know, I can see through it to the inner screen. But I don't really like the looks of the screen. So I think I'm going to go ahead and order another one to replace this while I got it apart. The other screen looks fine, I really think. But I'm going to go ahead and order this one before I reassemble it. I really think I could put it back together right now, put it on there. It's going to work fine. Now, I'm finishing this video by saying I'm not testing this. I feel confident about what the problem was. Filter intake, screening, the motor loose, and all that. Again, I'll just say it. I think I just had to move on to point B during the storm, get the plow on the tractor, go get the customers taken care of. It took longer to get between the contracts, but I kind of enjoyed the tractor time with it. You'll see a lot of video on that coming up. But spare parts, love it. I'll follow up with another video on how to raise the plow and maybe a couple other things. But I really do think my maintenance video that I did on my plow, I'm going to add a few things to it that are the pre-season. I think even taking this off and doing the screen and some other stuff should be part of it. But we learn lessons every time. So y'all take care and have a blessed day. We'll see if we get some more snow before this season is done.